grip. Suburb fam, it's the late night drip. Gets heavy, but we keep it light. Opinions sparking like city lights at night. From the highs to the lows, we keep it real. Our squad knows the power we wield. Turn the volume up, let it settle in. The world spins wild, but here we begin. Late night drip, it's the vibe we sip. Join the squad, lean back, don't trip. Jam and Dame, bringing truth, no script. Suburb fam, it's the late night drip. The headlines whisper the truth in the dark. We dissect the chaos and leave our mark. Our squad unites in the glow of the screen. Every laugh, every take, every thought unseen. Under neon sky so blue.
The moon's on blast, the night's alive. Headlines spinning, let's take a dive. Jim and Dame with the mic so slick. Odd squad rolling with too legit. Late night whispers turn to screams. What's it all mean? What's it all mean? Drip, drip, here we go fam. Jim, Joan, Dame, they got the plan. Drip, drip, we're the Odd Squad crew. Hit that sub, we're talking to you. Truth in the shadows, news in the glow. West Coast vibes with a steady flow. We don't just tell it, we break it down. Talk the talk while the city drowns. Pour the tea, spill the vibe. What's the story? What's the ride? Late night glow with a twist of flame. Odd Squad fam, you know the name. Drip, drip, here we go fam. Jim, Joan, Dame, they got the plan. Drip, drip, we're the Odd Squad crew. Hit that sub, we're talking to you.
Sliding through the static glow. Jam and Damien got the flow. News that hits you in the soul. What it means to you, you should know. Our squad, leaning close. Late night crew, raise a toast. Drip, drip, our daily drip. Tune in, don't let it slip. What's the word? What's the vibe? This is your show, come feel alive. turn to real talk. Jam drops gems while damn unlocks. Questions that make the clock stop. Late night thoughts in a backdrop. Eyes quiet, leaning close.
Raindrops fall on city pavement,
Raise a toast. Drip, drip.
washing secrets in the dark. Daily drip, the crowd's amazement. Knowledge streaming comes to spark. Thunder in the nighttime sky.
Get them ready. What up? What up? Welcome to our daily drip show. I am your producer, the man's Cassius Pay. And we about to bring up our host of the evening, this late night evening for grown folks, especially grown folks. That's what this conversation that we have is about. Jim Jones, come to the stage.
Hi, y'all. It's me, Jim Jones. I am in the building here to give y'all our daily drip show. First, before we do anything, make sure you hit that like button and make sure you hit subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. But definitely happy you're here to hang out with us super duper late tonight. Had some technical difficulty. It seems like, almost wasn't going to happen, but it happened. So very happy to be here with y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. Check us out. We're on all the socials. Drop some drip in the comments. Let me know where y'all are coming from, where y'all at. Very much appreciate the support. So today we're not going to take as long of a show because it is just me. There is no plain Dame today. So make sure y'all hit him up, on the different socials because he is there and he will be back soon enough. But for today, y'all got me. We're going to talk a little bit about AI. All right. So I've been talking about AI almost week after week for the most part. And it's a little bit, I don't want to say it's concerning, but the whole talk about artificial intelligence and just automation in general has been really very much a hot topic. So let's talk a little bit more. I did hear a comment, y'all, that made me just want to bring this to the table to you. So I heard a comment where someone was talking and they were talking about how their experience while shopping has totally changed. The apps know my size, my style, my mood, my insecurities. They know that, I like this type of genre. And because I like this specific thing, it recommended other specific things that it just knew I would love. It's almost like it knows me. Well, it kind of does know you. It's been watching you and, making note of all the things that you like and all the things that you might not like because either you purchase it, you spend time on it extra long, or the opposite, right? Like you leave it, you don't purchase it, you spend time there. All these things are being tracked, right? And if there's Jem Jones, right? Like, oh, this is Jem Jones. She likes pink, right? She likes hats. She likes glasses. Okay, so what do we got? What do we got that we can send to her to get her to buy stuff? I want y'all to think about that as the lens as we talk about some of these AI issues, about how it knows you. So much, the knowing you so much is so that human interaction is being reduced. We talked in the last live stream about the job cuts. I think it was the highest, what was it? The highest, man, I'm like blanking because it is super late, but there's been a lot of job cuts. Some say it's because of automation. Some say it's because of greed. Some say it's just, trying to reduce the market. Whatever reason it may be, at the end of the day, those a lot of people are being, what shall I say? They're being encouraged to feed the beast. What do I mean by feed the beast? Feed the beast by not only the technology looking and kind of like making note of the things that you say that you have purchased, you have clicked on, you have spent time watching, but literally what you tell it. So when you go to these chatbot platforms and you ask it questions, it's taking those things and it's starting to know you too, to the point where people are going for actual advice. Like they're literally going in and going, hey, I got a problem with my girl. She doesn't like when I come in at 10 p.m. What can I say to her if her personality is like ABC to get the result that I want, which may be, I want her not be mad at me. I want her to go to dinner with me. I want her to like me and say good things about me to her parents. And depending on what it's collected about you, as well as like all the other stuff other people who are similar to you have said, it's actually giving people almost like advice on the information that it knows. So, because it knows you. Well, because it knows you, it's not just the adults that it knows. The knowingness bleeds into the youth as well. It's kind of a red flag when the algorithm knows your emotions better than your family. Yeah, y'all, we in danger. We in danger and our kids in danger. So drop some drip in the comments, y'all. If y'all disagree with what I'm saying, let me know why. Totally here to, listen to other perspectives. This is not just, the end all be all. I'm definitely just giving some different points of views based on some things I've seen in social media or just even on videos to just bring up thoughts about where we are and where we're going. So definitely this is not the end all be all. I don't know everything. I'm just bringing it to bringing it to the forefront. All right, y'all. So let's get into this first video. It is a TikTok. Let me see if I remember this lady's name. Her name is, it is going off. Her name is a Walmart parking lot. Okay, so let me go ahead and turn the volume on for that. Make sure it's up so y'all can hear it. Drop some drip in the comments. Let me know, do y'all agree, disagree with this sentiment that she has here? Definitely want to come back. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play so y'all can hear what she has to say. And I'll stop in between to kind of comment.
That I low-key don't even want to talk about it or speak it into existence, but I'm very confident people that are evil already thought of this. So here we go. So I was writing about technology in schools this week, and you guys have kind of heard me talk about I think technology can be a really good thing. I used to be a big proponent of educational technology earlier in my career, but especially in the last 3-ish years, it's just gotten so out of hand. And I feel like kids are literally just having so much screen time, and a lot of it is at school on Chromebooks doing these educational platforms and things. And I was writing about that. And then I was writing about how a lot of tech CEOs and tech billionaires send their children to schools that do not allow any technology at all until 8th grade. And then for high school, it's just computer labs where they're learning computer skills. They're not using the computer to learn class material. It's considered its own thing, which I think is really positive. And at first when I was thinking about it, I was just thinking about it from an inequality perspective of oh, this is really fucked up that these people are profiting off of all this technology, but then their kids are shielded from the harm of technology. That's high key evil. And
okay, so she's saying, based on what research she's done, and in her research, she's saying that those who are creating this technology, when it comes to their children, their kids aren't allowed to even touch. Now, could that be diabolical? Could it be that they understand that there is harm to be done by too much screen time? And then even not only just too much is kind of subjective, right? But maybe it's not. Maybe due to whatever platform they're built. I'm just going off of what she just proposed. All right, I'm just going off of what she just proposed.
I'm gonna pull in
Maybe there's
something
a
with you.
threshold that they know, and they're like, nah, they're not gonna use that threshold at school. Nah, not under my, like, not when I can't see them.
I mean, these same individuals, they know the studies. They know the difference between someone being led and someone being a leader. That's pretty much what it comes down to. How are you being influenced? How is your culture being built? Is it being built upon being told what's fashionable, what to do, or is it being guided into having your own thoughts, being an independent thinker, divergent thinker? That's really what the difference is. If you're going to go to a separate school that's going to teach how to learn and then how to qualify, quantify, define, and defend your thoughts, that's the marked difference between being led and being a leader.
That's a key word you just dropped there was thoughts. And as we continue down her video, just like keep the theme of like free thinking and thoughts in mind as she's going down. And like y'all can disagree too or agree or whatever. Drop the drip in the comments. Let us know. Have y'all seen this? Do you disagree, agree, and why? So we'll continue down what she has to say.
And then the real evil thing fucking hit me. And like, I don't mean to sound conspiratorial, and I know I'm going to kind of sound like tinfoil hat-esque, but I think that these conversations are really, really important to have as our country is doing what it's doing. So this is what my concern is. The kind of pitch of a lot of those tech platforms is that it gives teachers insights into the students. Like we get all these reports about what they struggle with, which as a teacher, I work with those kids every day. I know what you struggle with.
He's about to get into
But when I
this,
was
y'all.
thinking about this, I thought about what would happen if that data about those kids got into the wrong hands.
Ooh. So she's asking a tough question. She said, what if this information got into the wrong hands? Now we gonna hear what she defines as wrong hands are, okay? But she's questioning, like, yes, it's good that we can understand trends, right? No different than what AI is doing to learn more and to suggest, right, things based on the information that it has seen in the past and trying to make some level of inferences to the future. But now she's about to get into put her tinfoil hat on into the potential whys. Let's go.
And I know that we have laws to protect student privacy like FERPA and things like that, but look around. Are laws always followed? No, they're not. And hackers do exist. And
hold on, she talking about hackers. Now I'm gonna be real here. The hackers on that educational front, I don't know if I've never heard anybody go in and hack the schools. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody who got a college degree that owns student loans probably
Data is
would've
data.
hacked.
People have gone in and hacked schools,
Hack
school
schools.
systems.
I
Stuff
mean,
like that. It's happened. It's happened. Now, for the reasons that they're pulling the data, who knows, right? But schools have been hacked, just like your governmental entities have been hacked.
Well, it's interesting on the like, well, what if this data, what if it gets hacked? I was thinking about this quick pivot real quick. I was thinking about this earlier. There's automated autonomous driving cars. Don't nobody hack into those? That's interesting.
Yeah, there's
certain I've never heard of them being hacked. I'm surprised that they're not hacked, but they haven't been. There's a lot of things that are, I don't want to say hands off the wheel, but no pun intended.
Okay, so here I'll give you one.
Go ahead.
The last major school to be hacked was Uvalde School District in San Antonio, Texas, which was forced to shut down the week of September 15th, 2025, after a ransomware attack disrupted core systems, including the website, communications, climate control, and payroll.
We gotta look that up. Isn't that a school that had a school shooting too on top of that?
I believe.
I'm pretty sure it sounded like that school guy.
I mean, but nobody would know really what school to target until it's been in the media, like especially like nationally.
Yeah,
so that's how
I'm
that
pretty
works.
sure that was a school that had.
That's how you become a target.
Drop some drip in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure, and it could be a school with the same name and not in San Antonio, but I feel like that sounds familiar to me. So, okay, yes, it could, quote, get hacked. It very well could. But what they're going to, what would a hacker do outside of social security numbers with that information? Maybe names, if they could put two and two together, that
Are you
this
talking
is,
about pulling information? They're just talking about holding the information for ransom. And that's just an easy thing to do.
so here's the
There's
real
more
question.
companies that pay that ransom than you
What
think, but
all, but
it's
what
like it's
all,
like paying a drunk uncle. You're gonna have to keep paying them.
but
You're
then
gonna
that
have
makes
to
me
keep paying them to
question,
leave.
as a school, what kind of data are you keeping on these kids? Like, really, like, what level of data are you keeping on these kids that, like, it's worth ransom money outside of a social security number? Like, I'm just trying to even think the level of information you would think a school has, but maybe they have more information and profiles on the kids than we think. So, all right, y'all, I'm gonna keep going.
No, we got some people
Think
that
about
was
Oh, there's
commenting.
comments. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Students learning through AI will grow to teach using AI. That's why kids now can't do math in their heads or name any presidents. They're not actually learning material. That's
Right.
not untrue. Also, let's touch on the math thing. Them redoing the math was diabolical. Like, where you can't even do old school math, so like their parents can't help them. So they just screwed the kids kind of over on the math from the start. And yes, they are going to teach AI, and AI will learn from them. So you're totally right there. I agree with you on that. Um, they and the presidents is interesting. They probably don't memorize a lot of that stuff, but I would drop some drip in the comments. Were y'all pressed to learn about all the presidents? I don't know if I know that back when I went to school, we had different tiers of expectations of the school systems. Like, there's stuff that I learned in school that kids my age that went to, like, let's say a inner city school might not have, because I went to a suburban school. And so I learned the presidents and certain things about that. I honestly couldn't tell you everything about them now, or even probably a majority. But we did learn that stuff. And I don't know if, like, what value do we even put on remembering those things? There is so much to be known about history, and history repeats itself. So I totally agree with you there. But we don't challenge people to use that, or the things they learned when they were growing up, to apply it even in the workplace. Like, I'll give you an example, because I'll drop a quick story. I once had a job where I had to prove why something would work and why something wouldn't work. And I was somebody who took statistics in college. So I understand, like, the standard deviations, and being able to prove this is what the actual risk kind of looks like. The people I'm talking to don't know what standard deviation is. It was crazy, because you would think that the type of certification that people in that area might have, they would high level understand where I was going with that. No idea. So it's just unfortunate that people don't get a chance to showcase some of the things. And then even when they do have a chance, I've had people say, when am I ever going to use algebra? You use algebra all the time. Whenever you're trying to figure out what something is, it's algebra. Like, people don't even know when they use it, which is sad too. There was another comment that you had. What did it say? Could AI be dumbing down our kids? Well, I have seen some social media posts where people have said, I got my degree before AI, which insinuates that people do believe that. I think that they can get the answer faster and not have to dig through on the why because of AI. I don't know if that makes them dumber, but I think that it doesn't give them the grit to understand more about the why. So if you believe that that makes them dumber, then I guess that would be true. But I think they can get to the answer faster, which technically doesn't make them dumber. But if you had to peel back and they have to troubleshoot, like problem solve, ooh, it's looking kind of maybe a little bit rough.
Well, I mean, let's add it in another caveat to what you're saying though, and what someone in the comments is saying. Like, does it make you dumber? it makes you lazier. It makes you not have to remember certain facts to draw back on, to peel back, um, and understand correlating things, right? So understanding history mixed with current events to understand trends, all that good stuff. So I think it can take away from uh, the human mind being as sharp as it can be.
Yeah, you know what? This image that is up now, yes, lazy is a better term than dumb. Yes. I think it's talking about the problem solving part. That image just showed kids in a library, right? In a library, you have to go find books to basically fit your argument, right? You had to go and find the type of book that you needed, go through that book, find the piece that you needed within that book to then quote that book and reference that book to say, this is what I think so and so agrees, and here's what I got it, where I got it from. And now that whole like actual piece has been removed, and you just ask it a question. It's like Google on steroids. Like Google, at least you had to say, uh, what was XYZ? And then it'll give you results, and you still had to kind of sift through it. And now it's like, what was XYZ? And it's like, oh, here's what it is. This is why. And this is what you can do with it. Which, so to answer your question, I would say if you equate the diving into the why, root causing, problem solving, then yes, it's making our kids dumber slash lazier. If getting to
I
the
mean, you used to have to work hard to even get a book in the library.
I
People
have to look up
remember
on that.
the
Yeah,
Dewey Decimal System.
and listen.
Yeah, for those of us that are older, we understand that that used to be a thing, or just had an old library where you didn't
Oh
have
my
computers.
gosh.
So, yeah,
Yeah, you gotta go through, find where the book is, look it up on the thing, write it down on a piece of paper with the prints, the pencils that were trash, right? Like it might have 3 scribbles left on it. You walking around looking where this is at. It's all the way on the other side of the library. Yeah. Anyways, good times. All right, let's go ahead and continue her video.
How dangerous and scary it could get if the wrong people had that data. Imagine if I was like a evil politician or CEO or whatever, and I got a data set that showed me by neighborhood or zip code or whatever, what things people struggle with. Do they struggle with seeing messaging and author's purpose in a piece of written work? I can use that to my advantage to put propaganda out to convince these people of something. What if an employer has a bunch of data about people who struggle with math and they see that they struggle with percentages? It's going to be a lot easier for that employer to screw over those employees on their pay, on their raises, and things like that. Same thing with like a banking company. What if a banking company and a mortgage company sees that a specific demographic or area or neighborhood or whatever, or even individual struggles with compound interest?
So hold on. I mean, that's already kind of happening. Like, is when you go on certain websites, right, and you're looking to buy a house, they'll ask you, "Hey, what's your credit score? What's your demographic? XYZ," and it collects all this information about you and puts you in a category. I personally don't think that they do nothing with that.
it's called underwriting. That's
Well,
that's what that is.
you're not supposed to do that until they hit the actual like apply piece, though.
Then
I'm
what's the
just-
soft credit
I'm-
pool then?
But
Let me know.
but still, I'm saying before any trigger is pushed that says like, yes, I want to know if I can get this house. Just you entering it in on your profile, I'm saying they're already profiling you of like, maybe you say you want to live in, I'm trying to think of like a suburbs. You say you want to live in Brooklyn, New York. Do you really want to live in Brooklyn, New York? Or do you want to live in this other community inside of New York City that's a little more closer to your demographic? Just because I'm in a demographic does not mean that I want to live within that demographic. And it's going to make those assumptions like, well, people who are like you, right? Because it knows you do well here. And we think that you would do the best in people in these types of environments because in theory, your success rate based on whatever we consider success to be would be highest here. And they would have the ability to show you or not show you listings based on that.
Are you trying to like refer to like some level of digital redlining? Is that what you're trying to do? Oh, okay.
I'm not saying they doing it. I'm just saying it quite very well be possible that it's has the capability to. Ain't nobody
Okay.
about to sue me on our daily drip show. All right, is there any more comments? I'm gonna keep playing. I didn't look. No. Okay, cool. I'm gonna continue this video.
You don't think that they could use that to then write a predatory loan to take advantage of that person? And so I just feel like I'm starting to connect these dots and click these things together that I think it
like a 50-year mortgage or a ninja loan. Check out our last live.
It's not just the immediate harm of screen time on a child's development that these billionaires want to shield their children from. I think it's also about privacy, and privacy around academic strengths and weaknesses is not something I've ever really thought about before. But once I started thinking about it, I realized just like how fucking scary that is and how dangerous that could get so quickly. And I want to be clear, I don't think that like every educational technology company is like having these backdoor meetings. They're like, oh, how can we use these ELA reports to enable a fascist takeover? But keep in mind, most of these education technology companies pay other companies to store their data. Like, remember when Amazon Web Services went down and it like destroyed the whole fucking internet like a couple weeks ago? And then Oracle has a ton of data centers where they hold data. Like, when it comes to data, it's not just the company name that you see that's involved. There's lots of other key players here. And there have been so many data leaks and so many hacks that I'm starting to just get concerned that we have so much data about what these children struggle with. And it would be so easy for someone to use that data to exploit them in mass, and then like as these children grow into adults, then exploit them as adults. And I don't.
So let's talk about that for a second. Do we not think that, and we talked about these different platforms because MTV just essentially retired. You don't think those platforms that were the pre-social media information was that used similar to this? The MySpaces, which someone brought up a good case of, if the internet's forever, then where's my MySpace page? You have the MySpace accounts, the Black Planets, the AOL,
the annals of history.
Yeah, the AOLs.coms, like all those, the AOL screen names, like all of those things. I can't even think of all the things that used to be back in like the 2000s with the pre-Facebook era, right? And then even Facebook before it became Meta, right? If we don't think for 1 minute that people who use those platforms were not targeted to be marketed to be streamlined into groupthink of some sort, that's insane. I'll give y'all a quick story. I don't know if any of y'all know this, but there was I can't believe I'm bringing this up. There was an episode in the Power Rangers, and I remember this being like one of their episodes. And what they did was I think it was like through the TV back then, they marketed something to basically get everybody to wear the same color. And then they knew that if everybody who watched this wore the same color, then that groupthink worked, right? And I can't remember what color it was, but that was the first time that I realized that there's some level of like mind control type of entity available, and the Power Rangers had to come in, and Power Rangers would be shunned now for the way they were moving back then, but they came in and kicked them up and beat them up, all that, boom, all those things. And everything was great in the land, but the messaging was powerful from a TV that was a one-way door, but for it to be multiple angles and to be able to go back and forth is crazy in present day. And I just wanted to bring that up. I think that'll always sit with me for the rest of my life, is that episode, that it was even pertinent back then. Okay, so I'll talk about this for a second, then I'll finish up in our next video. So she talks about, what if this information was given to a company and they use it, right? Don't y'all find it strange? Y'all don't think that they're exchanging things? For example, if I collect a bunch of information about, let's say, marketing, right? And specifically, I market to, let's say I market to, I'm trying to think about what I do, karate, right? And the people feeding me the information that I have is I have a data set or a bunch of information about people who use things for karate, have done karate, specialists who implement strategies and how and training on karate, like everything about karate. I got this people who've done it. I have the people who are innovating and I have the people who use it. I have the people who want it, all pouring in this information. Y'all don't think it's possible that this could just be packaged up into like I got a karate bot for you that'll make sure that you sell? Because you don't even need to hire nobody but one person. You got one person to make sure things are running, whether it's sending it through the social media, whether it's putting out certain types of content based on what someone's looking for. I already have all the information because y'all gave it to me. Y'all gave it to me. Y'all gave it to me. And then the new 3.0 version, 4.0 version will come out, and I'll just keep upgrading. And the upgrade is nothing but other people have already given all this information, and we just keep feeding it and feeding it and feeding it. I think it's similar to what she's saying here. And it is interesting that those who create these things would never let their kids' thoughts, emotions, opinions, and progress to be tracked like that in the beginning stages of their actual development, but allowing them to have free thinking, allowing them to in a protected space in some ways until they get of a age where they should have a little more sense. Anybody knows a preteen or early teenager or teenager, they still don't have sense, but at least you had a chance to instill some level of sense in them. And I guess that's the mental model behind that. So that's my 2 cents on that with what she's going. I'll drop her TikTok in the description so y'all can go to that when y'all want to. Okay, so Boiled Peanut Gallery says, wait until they start using the kids' data for targeted marketing, political advertising, or even to track kids who might be in trouble for the government in the future on a watch list at 13 years old. I'll take it. I agree with you, but I also think they could take those same kids or kids like that, and depending on their behavior and their profile type, wouldn't they be great candidates for recruiting for the military? Certain temperaments would probably do very well with being great soldiers.
CIA agents,
FBI,
right?
People, all those.
You should work at the TSA. The way that you've been looking at these boxes. Yeah.
When I
be
think
all that you can be for the government.
An interesting model that used to be similar to that. I don't know how they do it now, but I think, well, in other countries probably do this more so than in the US, or historically did. Trade schools are kind of similar to that. Like schools would identify kids who would benefit from a trade. Now, the school I went to was almost like certain kids who they didn't think were going to go to college, they would push them to trade school. And it was like oh no, you don't want to go, which in hindsight, man, I should have went to trade school. I don't know about you, but I could have still went to college and did what I did, but I should have got that trade too. I actually know some people who went to trade school and they're doing incredibly well. But on the flip side of this, it could be helpful to identify those kind of kids. Do I think it would be used that way? Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. But I think it should be. It could be an avenue for parents to know something that their kids really would have a knack to be good at. So before I go into our next thing too, I do want to be a little bit more positive. I do think that AI should be used for a couple things. Like AI should be used for time saving for your idea. Examples are like brainstorming your vision, collecting options, but not actually making the decisions. And relationships, feelings, emotions, that comes from living and not typing. So what do I mean by that? Let's say I have an idea of I want to build a roller coaster, right? I've never built a roller coaster before. I'm not an architect. I don't know how to do that. And I come into a boatload of money. Is just one of the things in this money is that I have to build a roller coaster, right? One thing I could do is say, I want a roller coaster that is like XYZ. Based on this information, what would be my options for a roller coaster, right? It can give you those options. And then you could say, okay, so based on that, I know from my budget, I can get a roller coaster that's this high, but not that high, right? So it's level setting you. So I'm cool with that. I think that that's the level. If you didn't have somebody in the room, okay, so I can't do that unless I'm gonna put my money in on that. Those are the levels of things that we should do. But me asking about if I build this roller coaster, do you think the girls is gonna like me? That's wild. And then, okay, so you gave me an answer. What else can I do to get to make me feel good and make them feel good and get people to come to all feel like XYZ? What are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here? That is opening the door for manipulation. And so that's why I wanted to bring that up. Rise the books that have that never been. Yeah. So
I mean, it's really taken away the value of wisdom, because that's probably something that I would ask my uncle or my dad or my grandpa. What can I do
or try and fail
to get the girls to like? Yeah, and you can try and fail to get the girls to like me. What am I supposed to be doing? Daddy might tell me to go ahead and be myself. Right.
What did you do?
The girls
you can't ask. You should be asking no bot. What did you do? That's crazy.
What'd you do, bot? Well, after about 800 synthesized algorithms, I failed 998 billion times, but this one time at band camp. Go ahead.
That's crazy. Yeah. No, that's crazy. That's right. I like that. In the fact that I don't even want to bring up some of the things that people have done. There's been some things that have happened that people literally have leaned on AI to tell them about that doesn't make sense because it involves their feelings and emotions. But speaking of feelings and emotions, let's talk about control. Okay, so this is for my people who don't want to be controlled. We're gonna talk about VPN. So VPN allows you to have, so I don't want to say stealth, but it gives you a little bit of a way to not just directly be like, yeah, I'm so-and-so and I live in whatever city in Michigan. It can put you in a different, it can say that you're in Seattle, Washington, or say that you're in, Reston, Virginia. It can say those things. It can say that you're in Tampa, Florida versus where you actually are in Michigan, right? So because of that, they want you, don't be using these private networks. We want to know where you at. We want to know where you at and who
without
you are.
working for it so hard, because you're still able to find it. But
I need that data.
Yeah.
Raw. Okay, going in raw.
So
Okay,
all right. So some people are trying to use this for age verification sites, for being able to mask, from being able to be blocked out of certain markets when you're watching your favorite shows or you're watching sporting events, and these networks are getting done with blacking out certain games. If you're a football fan or basketball fan and you just want to watch your local team, they try to make you go locally instead of just being able to stream it like you would any other game if you got league passes and all that kind of stuff. So,
and that's because they got them contracts, right, with the logo, and they're like, nah, you ain't about to mess with our contract. Go watch that on ABC. Go watch that on ABC. Go watch that on NBC. Go watch that on your local channel. Don't go on these Game Pass. Don't do it. We don't got nothing for you. You like the Wizards? Cool. You're in Virginia? Go to your local channel. Don't come over here with that. So yeah, there's other things too. We'll go into this. I don't I might have to pause it depending on what he starts talking about, but yeah, let's see what he's talking about on this.
VPNs. That's impossible. Michigan went after it last month, and now we start seeing more states, as of recent, go after it, like Wisconsin. Let's talk about this, why it matters, and what we do. To set the situation properly, we actually have to go back to earlier this year, and it's something that we've been talking about here on the channel. It happened in the UK, and it's happening in many other places, which is age verification. The idea is we can save the kids from corn. And yes, we are all about keeping children safe, but it's very well established that age verification laws don't really do that, and they are, as the EFF says, just a backdoor to surveillance. Not only are they a backdoor into surveillance for also adults, but children as well. In fact, we've already seen age verification lead to making children less safe. The Discord hack, as of recent, impacted Discord's age verification process, which ended up leaking the IDs, personal information, home addresses, etc., of children because they were collecting children's data and not storing it securely. This isn't an isolated incident either. Last year, we saw age verification through 10 ticks.
My husband used to ejaculate prematurely until this.
Yeah, we're just doing that. So age verification. I don't know if anybody else has come into contact with that, but depending on, he used corn as an example. If they're asking that question up front, they want to know who you are, which means that they're still building a profile. And they're like, whoa, you would say, hey, you don't know my name. You don't know who I am. But they do. So every device you use has an IP address, right? So there's different addresses that tell you, that say your location. There's different triggers that tell what kind of device and what device, and based on those things and what you click right on this verification, it can technically keep that information when you come back. It'll say, oh, this is so and so, they're 13, they can't come in here. VPN kind of stops that because you're not necessarily in the same location, or device may actually not be you. So that is partially why they'll want to get rid of that, is because it's not because of corn necessarily, but just the fact that the information that I have about this is now limited. And if you didn't have this wall, I'd be able to see who you are and what you're doing.
Well,
So-
you're able to see what it is because they're asking for people to upload IDs in order to even watch
And that's crazy.
these things. So, like, you trying to, you know, show your passport or whatever to get access, then you be my guest. I don't think it's worth all that. I'm not signing up.
That's
You know,
crazy. You're gonna give your
just-
driver's license up to go see some corn is wild.
Right. I'm nah.
Drop some drip in the comments. Y'all uploading y'all ID. How
You gonna
I'm
out
just saying,
people out here? Here you go.
I'm just saying how, like, maybe I'm not
You
looking at
upload
it.
your ID to see?
No,
some-
I'm just saying maybe they have an
rights?
argument of like, hey, I'm supporting the cause, and I definitely would do it. If you are, drop some drip in the comments. Let us know. I could be wrong. I wouldn't do it. I
Yeah,
would.
I mean,
do it,
it's
but
supposed to be
hey.
under the guise of protecting, you know, the kids, but I only see it as a grab to see who's looking at what, and say
When?
looking at something unsavory. That might be the recipe of a lifetime if you want to join a political thing or you want to run for something. You was looking at bears getting on in the background. Yeah.
So we'll continue with. He's gonna talk more about this verification as well. Oh, I gotta take it off mute, y'all.
Access to their sensitive information either, and they are also a government-issued ID age verification system. So we put these laws out there that not only in some ways jeopardize children more than if they didn't exist, but they also jeopardize the privacy and the overall freedom of the internet for literally everyone, including you and other adults. So naturally, what do most people do? They use a VPN.
And for everybody who's out there thinking of using VPNs, let me just say to you directly, let's just not try and find a way around. Just prove your age, make the internet safer for children, make it a better experience for everyone.
Now, some US politicians saw this advice and went, can we pass a law for that? And yes, so as of this writing, which was a few days ago, Wisconsin lawmakers are escalating their war on privacy by targeting VPNs in the name of protecting children in AB 105 and SB 130. You can actually read these bills yourself. I will leave them in the description. The EFF is a wonderful digital rights org, and their coverage I feel like is pretty fair, so I'll be continuing to use them. This bill has already passed the state assembly and is now moving through the Senate. And if it becomes law, Wisconsin would now become the first state where using a VPN to access certain content is banned. I already mentioned Michigan, which has proposed something similar, which did not move through its legislature, but among other things, would still force internet providers to actively monitor and block VPN connections. As in the UK, officials are calling VPNs a loophole that needs closing. Now, Techler actually started as a VPN channel, so I can definitely talk quite a bit about VPNs, and we still host an open source VPN chart as kind of a continuation of what we used to do. What a VPN does is a third party, typically a VPN provider, will essentially encrypt traffic on your computer and become the middleman. You're handing over trust from your ISP to your VPN. And it's a fairly similar technology, whether you're using it for business or to get around Netflix streaming restrictions or to just get some better privacy. There's different VPNs for different use cases, but they all overall function in a similar way. This is almost technically impossible. Websites, let's say DuckDuckGo, Google, Brave, whatever, have no way to tell if a VPN connection is coming from Milwaukee, Michigan, or Mumbai. The technology doesn't work that way. What they're trying to say is if I'm in California, you're in France, and one of our friends is in Germany, and we all connect to the same VPN server, Google doesn't know where we're actually from. So there's no way for websites to go, oh, this person is clearly a resident of Wisconsin, so we can't let them in because they're using a VPN and they're a Wisconsin resident, unless, of course, this is combined with age verification and every site becomes age verified, which is ideally also not something that is being pursued because that would be just horrendous. So what's more realistic is websites like the ones I listed either cease operation in Wisconsin or they just block all VPN users everywhere to avoid liability.
Drop some drip in the comments. Do y'all think that age verification actually makes sense? Trying to think, like, I'm trying to see what's going on.
No, it's all good. It might be a hindrance, you know, so that's really what it is. It won't be worth it. It won't be worth the squeeze.
I mean, how? So let's play this scenario out for a second. Someone actually looking for which it sounds like the actual use case is corn. We don't want kids to see corn. Okay. Wouldn't they just go get the? Yeah, I was gonna say, wouldn't they just go get their parents' driver's license and just?
Oh, that's messed up. So you gonna just take my stuff and go look at some two Arabian horses getting on?
I've known people to forge parents' signatures for grade cards and such. Yeah, I'm pretty sure your kids will take your driver's license and upload that bad boy. It ain't theirs. They don't got one. Because you'd have to be of the age to even care to look at something like that to take it to that step anyways. Which means that you would know where the driver's license and passport is. So are you really protecting the kids? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, who are we protecting on that? Because you got a VPN? There's gotta be another way. Meanwhile, we're passing legislation like that. Meanwhile, I wonder how that's gonna conflict in the big beautiful bill, because that has, if y'all go take a look at that, there are some lenient legislation in there about technology. I wonder if anybody's going to bring that up and actually have some arguments to that. I can see that being a thing. Like if you're, I don't know, or even these kids using AI to ask it, how can I get around this? Because we know they ain't gonna look it up. They just go ask it. If I wanted to get around this, like I just don't know how that's a solution. I have a really good solution though. How about you just be real and parent your kid and talk about it? Why don't y'all just talk about it and establish boundaries in your house? I mean, maybe I don't know. right? I don't know. I would tell y'all a story, but I think I think I might get in trouble with my family if I told somebody this other story. But we had boundaries in our house about stuff we can and cannot do. And I knew there was consequences. My siblings knew that there was consequences to not following the rules. And if the rule is that you are a kid and you stay in a kid's place, and my parents define what a kid's place is, when you step outside of that, you get in trouble. What trouble is depends on what kind of trouble you're given, what kind of reinforcement structure that you use. But kids are going to try stuff regardless. And I really think that this is taking a subset. I would love to know the numbers of how many, like, what their projection on kid usage and like what happens to that is. Like, nobody's bringing any numbers up about that. Yeah. Well, and that's why I'm saying, like, why all of us got to parent your kid? Like, that's how I feel. But like, I kind of feel like, why do I have to not do?
That's why half of these
things?
teachers are quitting because of the same thing.
That's a whole other live
That's
stream.
that's a whole live stream where you asking somebody to take care of home, or hey, your kid is falling behind in math or reading. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Why aren't you teaching my kid? Like, it all can't be handled in the classroom. You gotta do something. It's called homework for a reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop this video in the description so y'all can take a look. I don't want to keep holding y'all super duper long, but I will give you one last, I would say, kind of story before we get out of here. I was on social media maybe 2 weeks ago, and I have a friend who lives in Cleveland. And so she had posted that Cleveland was considering to have restrictions on what time kids can be in bars. So like the bars would not allow kids, I think it's like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night, they can't be in the bar. And parents are like mad about it, like, oh, I didn't have my kid at the bar, whatever time. She is a childless woman who is, I think she's in her 30s, like early 30s. But she is a childless woman in her early 30s. And her post was, I would pay more money to be in a place where this happened because I don't want to be there to have to deal with your kids running around the bar. That signals 100% what famous F79 just said. Like, you why is your kid at the bar at 7, 8 o'clock at night anyways? Like, and so the comments in there were like, why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? Like, I know that there's time zone things. You could be coming from another state over there, time zone difference. So 8 o'clock is 5 o'clock, whatever. There are different nuances of why that may be. Don't know if you couldn't have just went to Applebee's and not like a bar, but okay. And I think that the sentiment on this is that I think people, whether it be the teachers or whether it be other people in society, they're starting to get fed up with being accountable for other people's kids. And like there's two parts to this, the AI part. There is a parenting component. There is a component of boundaries that we need to set for kids on that front, as well as like we should also have some boundaries of what we would allow for our kids on that front. On the VPN side, though, there's also boundaries that other people, like, y'all got to be responsible for y'all own kids, and that other people who don't have kids or their kids are grown or whatever should not be held accountable because your lack of having boundaries is my stance on that. Drop some drip in the comments if y'all disagree, but that's kind of my stance on it. I do see how technology can be impactful. I can see how kids could use this for the greater good or not, but I also think that there's a layer of parent accountability that bar is not being held and hit consistently. And that's where I kind of stand on it. I see we see. Next thing you know, kids will be signing up their parents to dating sites with their stolen ID because they're mad at their parents. Ooh, I don't know if I want to put somebody's business out there. Not a kid, but I do know someone whose parents signed them up for a dating website because they could. So I could totally see what you're saying. Yeah, times are changing, but at the same time, people want to say, these are my kids and I do X, Y, Z. Okay, well then you gotta hold down the boundaries because there's your
That's
kids
what I
and
know
X, Y,
about right
Z.
here is what Fame is talking about right here. That's we call some straightening.
Yeah, you know what? I was straightened so much by my own parents. My grandma ain't never whooped me. She God rest her, R.I.P. grandma, but she never whooped me. You know why? Because I already knew my dad. If my grandma touched me with a belt,
Oh,
my
it was
dad
gonna be one of the competitions.
Oh man, listen, he like if she hit me, if she got me on a 1 or 2, I'm getting a 4, 5, or 6 because he's like, oh, so you think you're gonna embarrass me? I wasn't. You're gonna embarrass me? You weren't there. You embarrassing my name. I sent you. I allowed you to embarrass. Wait, you weren't there. Whoop. Yeah. The whoopings were real back in the 90s and 2000s and all that. It's like, I think around 20, I would say maybe the 2010s, like people stopped giving spankings. I would say probably around there. Like if you had a small kid in the 2010s.
Oh, that might have been around the time people was talking about don't talk to my kids this kind of way.
When the kids can actually call CSB and they actually pull up. Because back in the day, the kid can't call. Wasn't no kid calling. Another adult had to call. Like, yeah, they killing them kids over there. Oh yeah, go get a switch, man.
Right.
When you got to pick
that's
your
when you go get a
up.
twig.
Oh my god,
this is all I can find. What you mean?
Like this will work. What? This I can use this. Cool, that's a good one. It didn't matter what you got. It was a good one. They were gonna make it work. But yeah, I just wrap all this up is that technology isn't going anywhere. We do have to protect our kids by understanding the information that is being leaked, that's being provided, that's not by like the people who are their guardians, their protectors, and so forth like that. And where is that going? I think there needs to be more transparency on that. On the flip side, though, there's some stuff. Why everybody got to be held accountable for everything? Like I said, back in the day, these sites existed before VPN and before social media and all that. Like somehow everybody else knew not to click on the corn, and if they did, somehow they're fine. I don't know. Or maybe there's just more egregious corn these days. I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, you know what? I think it's that kind of started with the what do they call it when the kids are able to be an adult? What is it called? I can't remember what it's called. It's on the tip of my tongue. When you can be of a certain age and you're like, you know what? I'm an independent. I'm grown.
It's about emancipation.
There you go. Ask a boomer. They ever meet somebody who was emancipated, or they just left the house?
Go and take your ass out of here, then. Emancipate yourself.
You ain't got no rights though. You gonna be sweeping. You can be sweeping where you sweeping because you go report to somebody.
Right. So,
right.
Famous said you better not pick up that phone. My grandfather would be like, call him. Tell him pick your ass up.
I'm just saying, ask a
I'm
boomer.
Not gonna have that going
ask a boomer. Boomers, y'all know anybody who was emancipated? That was your age, not their kids. Like a boomer, let me know. A boomer, possibly Gen X. Do y'all know emancipated people in your age group?
I know somebody who tried to be emancipated and they dropped their ass off at the orphanage on the steps and they cried like a little biatch.
Oh.
Daddy, Daddy, please.
That would have been me. You didn't have to do that. You could have just drove by and been like, "This is gonna be your new home." No, it's not. I'll be good.
I'll be good.
I'll be good. I'll be great.
Be good.
Between that switch and them people in there, I'm good. I'm straightened. You ain't gotta do nothing else. I'm good. Yeah, I think that played a part. Emancipated the there. I think also, and we can wrap this up, but I also think that there was more. I don't want to say regulation, but kind of regulation on what you're allowed to, what's acceptable to talk about in your home, of how you discipline your kids. I think that also plays a part. And it's from my lens, I I just remember certain generations handling things differently, culturally, but also just age-wise. And that's just because of who raised them. Like boomers were raised by the silent generation. From what I understand, that was to be seen and not be heard. So them allowing you to talk was a privilege. Ask a boomer if you don't know. You packed your He-Man toys and your mom closed the door behind you. I know you cried. You was like, I didn't even get a meal before I left.
Right, there's certain things you don't think about when you're like, hold on, I didn't even pack a sandwich.
Chicken nuggets, what's going on? But baby, I ain't mean none of that. I love you. I love you.
You should have thought about that when you're trying to be grown.
I'll be good, girl. I'm sorry. Let me go pick them toys up.
All right, He-Man was off in the cold with a hobo bag. Was that with that knapsack that they put on a stick?
Right. All right, y'all. That's all I got for y'all. Just something for y'all to drip on. You may not agree with everything I said. I'm just with these talk techie with me. I'm just giving my perspective on some things, but more so just bringing things to the forefront so we can have a discussion. We can think about these things. It might just make you think about something in a different way. And maybe y'all can come and tell me something. I can think about it a different way. Definitely want to keep this community growing and flowing. Very much appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all like this video before you like this live stream before y'all leave. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for y'all newbies who are here. We're here every Friday, sometimes playing games with me, but recently I've been rocking out. Very much appreciate y'all being here with me. Make sure you share this with 2 people you like and someone you don't, because chances are somebody's going to like it regardless. And shout out to Cassius Pay for hopping on. That's the producer. I'm sorry I didn't introduce him. And we will see y'all next Friday.
It's all good. I know you don't care about me.
I just wanted to get into it.
No, you good.
Aw. You can share this with whoever. This is we talk about the topics, by the way. So that's famous F79. We talk about the topics. I mean, I am who I am. We are whoever we are, wherever we all come from, and our experiences will come from our experience. But we don't just talk about, like, I'm not going to just talk about Black issues or just women's issues. Like, as you can see, I didn't come to the forefront like, oh, women. We're talking about the news, politics, technology, risk, quality. That's what we're here to talk about. So please share this with some people who just want to, maybe they just want to vibe out on a Friday night. I want to just have a good, nice conversation and just hear something new or just a different perspective. Regardless, very much appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for rocking with me. Y'all are so nice. And I'll see y'all next Friday. Super late night drip. Bye, y'all.
ODD squad, we in the know. Drip so hard it steals the show. Daily trip, come take a